pitcher winds. One flick of the tail and the fastball dies. They don't walk up, they teleport to the plate. 9 little assassins in cleats sealing your fate. You hear the meow from the dugout deep. That's the signal, better count your hairballs. Fluffy kitty ninjas, swinging shuriken bats, stealing bases like ghosts, leave the defense flat. FK and Kamish made the league, chat runs the show. When the kitties drop a prowl, everybody knows. Perfect record, razor claws. Fluffy kitty ninjas, put your paws in the air. Meow! Catchers throwing a second, ha! Good luck, kid. They're already there doing backflips. Pitcher stares in, tries to pick 'em off, but the kitty just yawns and turns it into a trough. Managers yelling, throw the curve, throw the heat. 2 late balls in the parking lot, landed 500 feet. Hairball slider, litter box change up too. Every pitch in the book gets hacked up on your show. Fluffy kitty ninjas, swinging shuriken bats, stealing bases like ghosts, leave the defense flat. FJ and Kamish made the league, chat runs the show. When the kitties drop a prowl, everybody knows. 60 homer kitties with the velvet paws. Fluffy kitty ninjas, put your paws in the air. Meow! Meow, meow! Growl! Kitties, meow, meow! Strike free, Fluffy kitty ninjas, undefeated in fur. World Series trophies filled with catnip and purr. Thank you FK and Kamish, thank you OOTP Sim. Best league in the world when the kitties check in. From the rooftop dugout to the laser dot lights. Fluffy kitty ninjas own the night. Fluffy, fluffy, kitty, kitty, ninjas, ninjas, eMLB. DJ Woo. Meow.
Good Thursday evening, friends. Welcome on into another edition of the Fluffy Kitty Ninja Show. With that, I would like to have our first opportunity to listen to We haven't had a GM interview yet, and it only made sense to start in one place. He is one of our longest tenured general managers. We'll talk about that in a moment. He wasn't from the day one. He wasn't like Jason Hillman or Bill Doran or Chris Holland, but you might as well put him right in that batch since he was one of the first to replace. I don't even know who the heck he replaced at this point. The name could be Squiggy the Space Squirrel for all I know. But we know this guy's name pretty darn good. If you don't, he might beat the crap out of you because he's also really good in some martial art talents if you do not know that about him. Steve Kim from the San Diego Padres is on the line here. Steve, how are you, sir? I hope he's off of mute and can hear me.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, sir. How are you?
How you doing, LB?
We are good. We are good. We are glad to have you here. For those who don't know, Steve is coming to us live from his car because, you know, he's out in that West Coast traffic, and I really appreciate him taking a little time to spend with us here as we put up his banner as well as his info in the Padres colors. First off, again, congratulations, Steve. Job well done. It is your second, and I'm going to scare you with a stat here. It is your second world title, and if my math is correct, I think you came in the midst of the first season of the 1.0 era, but that means that you have now 30 full eMLB seasons under your belt with 2 world titles. First off, let that number blow your mind because that means you and I have been doing this a long time, and I'm glad to have you aboard, my friend. But here's what I really would love to ask in a first question is, with all that time you've spent and how long it took you to get your first one, which of course was in the 2029 season, now 2 world titles in 5 years, what does it mean to you to be a champion in a league with this type of competition?
To me, it means a lot because I've been in the league so long, like you said. If you ask my wife, it doesn't mean anything. But to me, yeah, definitely. I've seen a lot of GMs come and go in my time. So to be one of the consistent ones who stuck around and still and be able to win it is a good feeling.
It is. You get to call yourself the champ. You get to carry around the little trophy here for a little while as we take a peek at the team for the time being. But appreciate sharing that. So now I got to ask the next question, and most of us know this. We have the running gag, although we're beginning to think there might be some truth to it, that you might have some active hitman targets to take out your owner here in the near future with the way that they are dictating budget. In fact, you come off of winning a world title and your budget gets squeezed even more to the point that with how eMLB ensures that there is a budget floor that at least teams will be at, you got a little bit on that. You're right there at the floor. So I'm curious from your point of view, since you've been Atlanta in a past life when we had caps, salary caps, of course, and then, of course, in the more traditional of how the majors are now, you're in a really tough market, more for the owner, making it tougher for you. So I'll ask you outright. Maybe this is a duh question, but do you really think teams need big budgets in order to be successful at this level of competition?
I'm not gonna lie, it's probably a bit easier if you've got some money to work with. It just depends how responsible you are with whatever budget you're given. So there's owners of big budget teams who, it could be easier for them with a big budget, but they just can't help themselves. They just throw money around like it's nothing, and they find themselves in trouble. So if you're a smaller budget team, like I am and a handful of teams, you have to look at every free agent signing, every trade. Not so much, you look at the dollar amount, but it's more like, if this goes bad, can I get off this contract? That's how I have to look at it as a small budget team. if I need to move this guy, can I find a team willing to take on this contract? And that's how I look at every transaction.
Hmm. Yep. So let's talk about a transaction you just had to do. We kind of segued you in intentionally for that. You had to make a tough decision here with Fernando Tatis. He's on waivers. I'll ask a kind of a follow-up question to that afterwards. But was that what you were just talking about? Was that some of those factors that warranted this? Because I believe you were really concerned about just financial flexibility in general.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, I would have got off of Tatis. Don't tell him this, but a few seasons ago. But when I found the team actually competing, I held on to him, knowing that I'm holding on to him a couple of seasons too long. Where I could have gotten value for him a couple of seasons ago, this season's I'm putting him on waivers. So it is what it is. When you don't got much of a budget, you have to make hard decisions. We appreciate all that Tatis did for us. He's definitely going to the Hall of Fame, I feel. But at this point in time, our owner is not giving us a lot of wiggle room. I mean, I don't know if any other World Series teams have won the World Series and immediately got money from the rest of the teams in the league because our budget is so small, but that's just how it is.
The follow-up question is, of course, you didn't have the luxury of having Tatis available in any capacity during this postseason, and we had a frequent story about the uber rookie in Charlie Matzke from Hampton, Virginia, having to play in that pinch. Did any type of success that he had at that level help in making this decision easier?
A little bit, but not really. I think Tatis was the contract. It was the only contract that we could have moved this offseason that would have put us under budget. It was either Tatis versus moving like 5 or 6 guys. So obviously Tatis was going to be the best player that I'm going to move, but I'd rather move him, even though we're going to leave a big hole on the left side of the infield, versus, trying to cobble together 5 or 6 starters that are going to have to move.
Yeah. So before we talk about what you were just going on, I'd like to go back to the 2033 season. And I guess I'd like to ask, from your point of view, what would you consider were surprises to you? And you're welcome to look at that both as from your team's perspective, as well as if there was something that surprised you in the league in general.
Sorry, can you ask that again? You cut out a little bit there.
So the question was, if I ask you what surprised you most this season, I'd like to hear what you thought was both from your own team's point of view, and if there was something that stuck out to you on the season in general, whether it's a team, a player, something happening that you felt made a difference.
From my own team's perspective, I would say very little surprised me. I mean, my team performed about as well as I expected them to. I didn't have a lot of huge surprises. I didn't have a lot of guys think had it in them. And I didn't have and the reason we won the World Series was who just crapped the bed that I expected to do better. So they were pretty league. I guess I would have said, based on the league's history, bigger deals at the trade deadline. There were a lot of deals, but more kind of, I didn't see that big major move that made everyone talk. I guess that would have been the big surprise league-wide.
It did feel like it was a little more meh or mid, if we want to use those expressions, this particular season around. So we might see that this offseason, as we've heard some rumblings of teams like Toronto discussing planning to make big moves. You already had to make a big move, and how will that impact even Arizona as well as yourself? Now let's talk about that offseason for yourself. Is it just that left side that you think has to be focused on the most? And in all honesty, are you more looking internally or externally still?
I'm staying flexible, and you got to stay flexible if you're don't have a lot of money to work with and you have holes to fill. It could be via trade, it could be internally, it could be via free agency. If you notice, what I do during free agency is I generally don't sign guys early because I just don't have the budget room to compete with a lot of these other teams. So I look for the guys, I wait for the big names to sign. I wait for the time period where it looks like a lot of the teams with money are kind of done with free agency, and then I see who fell through the cracks, and that's kind of what I'm relegated to. And also as a small budget team, you're going to have holes. You can't be great at everything. So you have to, for instance, look for budget arms in the bullpen. You're going to have to maybe look to fill your less important positions, say DH, first base, things like that, with budget players. If I can get the guy who will give me 75% of the production of a $20 million player at $10 million, I'm going to take that. And that's what I'm going to be looking to do, probably the same this offseason.
Paul Bailey, you brought him in. What a big difference on how he performed in Arizona versus San Diego. Two-part question. Got to assume the best of Paul Bailey is yet to come. Is he your ace now? And then the follow-up question is, we didn't see him offensively much. Does he start to crack in as a hitter as well as the two-way player he's trying to be?
He's not the ace now. That's still Hudson. Hudson's proven that he's the ace. He's proven that he fills that role well. Hudson will be slotting in number 2 behind him until he develops a little bit more. In terms of the two-way, maybe. It depends how his bat develops, but I'm mainly concerned with him as a starter. So if I start playing him in the field and it affects his stamina, affects his ability to start like I want him to, then I'm more concerned with the pitching than the hitting.
Got it. And he was a huge asset, definitely had his share. That incredible game 2 that he had against John Cowgill, matching him pretty much pitch for pitch in that sequence. Very impressive in it. Now, if there's one thing that when I think of San Diego, if there's something I feel like has always been your predominant strength, it has been that you have been able to have a solid rotation that really has been effective. Jeff Hudson as a perfect example. You've now got Paul Bailey and got control of him for a long time. But you might run into that problem here in the near future where a very consistent guy like Mike Arnett, he's coming closer and closer to free agency, and you haven't been able to lock him into a long-term deal if even interested at all. Do you feel that that has been a big key to your success? Is that consistent rotation 1 through 5, even if it might be a bit unheralded just due to time constraints not being able to feature the Padres so much? Do you feel that that has been your strength, and how do you continue to try to maintain that?
Pitching definitely has been the more consistent strength for the team. I think the first World Series we won, it was a bit more even between hitting and pitching because I had a lot of bats that were on reasonable contracts. But after that World Series, I have a lot of them. But for now, pitching is probably the focus. To keep that going, I think you've just, again, get your top 2 pitchers. And that's why I moved for Bailey, because he's so young and he's able to, I'm able to grow him with the team, with guys like Arnett getting older. But, Arnett is still in his prime. what, 27, 28,
Yeah.
27?
28,
So
and Jimmy Sherman's 27, with Hudson
yeah,
being
so
26.
they're still in their prime. Their ARB numbers are actually very reasonable, especially Arnett. I'm surprised. So, given he's won a Cy Young, but his because his ARB number is very reasonable, there's no stress in terms of moving him right away. Can still give it another shot next season. If a deal presents itself where it's worth it, then I will move him. But generally, I don't look at age so much. I look at numbers. Like what are they asking for? Will I extend them? Ask my owner that.
Yeah, I feel like that. I know where the answer of that is. Um, well, actually, let me ask that question then. Because the owner has been a bit of contention, how do you counter some of that? Do you have to raise your prices and try to keep the good times going? Because you do have a fan base that's gotten pretty rabid here because of the success. So you've got to try to do whatever you can to get a little bit of extra dinero to work with here. Do you feel like you're going to have to make some changes from an operational standpoint then?
I mean, I play around with ticket prices a little bit here and there, but if you max out ticket prices to get to maximize profit, it's not that much. So ticket prices can only do you so much. I don't have the cash to rebuild the stadium and add seats. That's just not in my future. So really, it just comes down to being really cold-blooded when it comes to players. That's really the only thing. That's the only thing that moves the needle in any significant way.
Yeah, it's a business, and you got to do it that way. So I want to go back to the pitching real quick here, and this is a little bit of a fun play. For those who don't know, Steve was the general manager of the Atlanta Braves for a lot of the 1.0 era. So this is why I think this is fitting. Jeff Hudson, I'm not even going to look at Paul Bailey here for a moment. Jeff Hudson, Mike Arnett, Jimmy Sherman. Did you say you have your own rendition of Maddox, Glavine, and Smoltz?
We'll see. I do think Bailey has the potential to be a big three, but he's still young. I don't trust him 100%, to be honest with you, based on what he's done so far. He's had really great starts, and he's had some shaky starts. So we'll have to see. But I'm definitely confident in Hudson and Arnett and Sherman. But Bailey he's on the right track. I'll say that.
And there's always the plus that he is a max booster generally, and unless that's changes out of the blue, which I don't expect it to right now, seeing what Pug has in his account, I think Bailey will just continue to try to compete and try to be maybe even the face of this franchise, not named Kim in it, of course, speaking of Asher and Yuna. So I'm gonna throw that one in there. Now, you just talked about age doesn't make a factor, but now you've got to look at that a little bit and say, all right, your own creative players are starting to get there. Asher's now 31, if I remember right, or turned 31 right during the World Series. Yuna is going to be, I think, 29 in our universe before the season starts. Does that start to play into how you have to think about the long game?
Any other player, like I mentioned earlier, I would be more cold-blooded. I don't attach myself to any player. I don't care if I'm a fan of them in real life. I don't care if I like the player. I'd move off them if I have to. The only exceptions are my children, because their mom would never let me live it down. So I would never have given Yuna that contract. If it was some other non-relative, that contract would never have happened. I knew I was going to regret that contract when I signed it, when I extended her, but it is what it is.
just under $50 million, and she'll be locked in at least through 2039 with a team option in that final year. But I would hope you think that she has been performing adequately enough here to justify what you've paid so far. I'm just sure you're more worried about towards the back end of this deal.
Yeah, I knew the back end of both deals, Asher and were going to be painful. But because they're my kids, we're going down together. Maybe towards the end of those deals, Padres will be in full rebuild mode.
Maybe. And, well, I won't hold you to this even if you don't know, but could you see them wearing a different jersey if you stay a Padres general manager?
Very unlikely. But hey,
anything's
make
possible.
me offers. I'll take offers on anybody.
Indeed.
So make me an offer.
Indeed. Final question from me is, while we're officially waiting the full release of the 2034 eMLB schedule, we have a new format that we are putting together that is definitely intended to be eMLB focused. It's going to start just divinely. We're going to see the Rangers taking on the Padres, a rematch of the World Series. What's your thoughts on that? And is that something you might hopefully be there for if we make that one of our featured games there on that weekend?
I'll try. Is that a Sunday matchup?
Well, it could be because the whole 7th annual Flippicated Ninja Charity Streamathon will be on August 29th and 30th. If we do like we've done before, we'll likely have a double header on Saturday and a triple header on Sunday.
Yeah, I'll try to make it.
Good.
Should be fun. Texas is a great team. There's a lot of good teams in the MLB. So it's for anyone who is trying to win a World Series, your goal, especially if you have a smaller budget, should not be to win a World Series. It should be to win your division. The World Series, from my experience, is so random that all you can do is minimize the RNG aspect of it. So win your division, get in the playoffs. If you can get the first round bye, that's aces.
That's a huge plus.
Yeah, after that, it's OTP will OTP. So Rangers could win it. Toronto is great. Obviously, Philly is a juggernaut. There's so many good teams that could win it. It's just kind of random once you get to the playoffs.
Indeed. Well, that was the last of my questions. So again, glad to have you here. I appreciate you taking a moment to park safely so that we could get your thoughts on your success. And again, let me not keep you any further so you can get home to your lovely family. Steve Kim, our world champion from the San Diego Padres. Again, it's West Coast time. It's 5 o'clock traffic. And he was kind enough to sit aside here and chat with us. Steve, a pleasure as always. We will see you soon enough, and hopefully we'll see you as one of our matchups here at the end of this month for opening weekend.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Steve Kim, everybody, from our world champion San Diego Padres, as he shared his thoughts on a few different levels. It was great to have him there on the show. Let me do this quick. And